Hi guys, I'm going to explain my presentation. This is about the book The Faults in Our Stars. Okay, I'm going to start. The Faults in Our Star. Analyzing the twigs. The first thing that I want to talk about is of the author of this story. His name is John Green. He born in Indianapolis on August 24th, 1917. He's writing literature to youths and is a YouTuber with your brother that his name is Han Green. Joe Green write a different production like A Looking for Alaska, Catherine Storema, Pepper Cities, White Nights, Will Grayson, and the final that is the most famous in the world is The Fault in Our Stars. John Green created this story because he have a friend that her name is Esther Earl that have the same sex that Hazel Grace that is in the story. She said a sentence that is very interesting that is just be happy, and if you can be happy, do things that make you happy, or do nothing but with the people that make you happy. This is the sentence that inspired to John Green to Esther Early. In 2014, they took a film based on his book that is premiered in June 2. The third topic that I'm going to talk about is the text analysis about the older book. This book, the format is only writing because you can see it didn't have pictures or that you can orient in the reading. The format of this book is romanticity because it's about a romance with Hazel and Agus that is two persons that have sick. Genre is not fiction because this book is about the story of Esther Earl that is the best friend of John Green that have the same sex that Hazel Grace and have 16 years old. The register of this story is neutral because the writing all be formal or informal. The audience is mass media because the book is translated in 46 languages. Audience from youth followers because the story is about the romance of two youths, but I think that all the persons can read this story that is very beautiful because have a lot of interesting things to kind of that the person have six or a small age, but all the persons can continue with your life and was happy and diversity. The purpose is entertain because the audience you have different emotion that you read this story because you can see happy or sad or angry, a lot of emotions in this story. In this fourth topic, I'm going to talk about the plot. The plot of this book is about two people. Hazel, that is a girl that is very sad in your life. He have cancer in your flock, and the other person is Agus. Agus is a person that is very happy and diversity and very funny in your life. He have a cancer in your flap and use a prosthesis. The story starts that in a group of persons that have cancer and is very emotional, is very bad, going to that, and he's so good in this group because your mom said that she didn't have a social life. Hazel and I were meet in this date. It's very interesting because she didn't can do a very emotional thing. They started to dating, and she chose him her favorite story, her favorite book. That is right. The writer is Peter. and she have a lot of question about this story because it's very interesting the final, because have a lot of question that the writer didn't say it in a lot of the years. And she said to August that your dream is to go to Amsterdam and ask to his what happened with the story, what happened for the protagonist. But one day I will have a surprise to her and say, I have traveled to Amsterdam with you. He was very surprised for that and is very happy and is going to the doctor and say that he's going to talk about your travel, but the doctor said that have a lot of sick is very terrible. But your mom say, I'm going to her. And the doctor say, okay, go to travel, but only 3 days. August and Hazel go to Amsterdam and go to Peter, but Peter is a person that is very aggressive because consumes alcohol and is alcoholic. I have problem with that and say that he didn't can see any person and they didn't answer the question that have Hazel, and Hazel got very angry and say so often his of a lot of sentences, a lot of words, because he's that person that is very disagreeable. And the secretary of Peter say that's very sorry because she answered your email and say that I think that Peter can change, but I was worried. But on the pass of the times, the secretaries do a dinner because it's very dinner with Hazel and August. In the 3rd day of Amsterdam, they go to your city, and August say to Hazel that have a new cancer that is very aggressive, and Hazel was very sad and say that she loves to him, and say that is the best person in your life. The pass of the time, he wanted to Hazel write a words because when he going to that, we won't listen to them, and it's very interesting because Hazel do the cards and say a lot of things that she think about her, about his, and say that very beautiful words. And the day when August died, Hazel didn't say the words that August say to her. But I don't know with that. And this is the final of this story. The 5 topic that I'm going to talk about is the characters. The principal characters is August and Hazel that have a romance, that have sick, that have cancer. And the secondary protagonist was Peter Van and Lideu. Peter Van was the writing that the book that love Hazel, and Lideu is the assistant of Peter that attend Hazel and answer the cards that she sent. Beginning, August and Hazel was in a group of support. They meet in this group. In the group up, they wanted to travel to Amsterdam because Hazel can have questions about the book that she read with Peter Van. And the evidence of August is that August was a twig with cancer, was prosthesis in your feet. August was a man happy and funny with different ways to things. He falls in love with Hazel. The evidence of Hazel is that Hazel was with cancer. She had problems in the lungs. Hazel was sad that think that the life have no meaning. She falls in love with August. The action of August in this story is that it's a person that have cancer, that made Hazel life happy and has a more aggressive cancer, but before he wanted Hazel fully for her dreams. This character has a positive mind. He looks at a happy person. The hair is honey and curly. His skin is white and with a beautiful smile. The leg is a prosthesis because the cancer affects this part of the body. His aspect was beautiful. He saw in the story action is a young that have cancer. He loves read a book for romance. She has a dream to canoe about the writer of the book. The writer is Peter and asks various questions. She is a character that was very important because it's very interesting. She look is a girl that needs a person to make your life better and to a life social. She was beautiful and it was smart and lovely look. Her aspect was sick because she didn't can need oxygen to your lips. The sixth topic in this first station is the final. It's the conclusion about all of things that I'm going to talk about before that. And I think that this story is very sentimental because you can see that it's very angry, half sad, it's very interesting, it's happy, it's romantic, have a lot of things. It's a read that is very easy. It's a read that you can read with a love of passion. It's a read that is can use to you are hungry or a lot of things that you can read of them. This read is very interesting because have a film that is very similar to this, but have things that is very interesting in the book because in the book have things that you can see in the video or the film. I recommend this book because it's very good and the story is a lot of romance. But if you like the romance, I say that this book is very beautiful to read. Thanks for your attention. Bye.